Uh-oh.
Uh-oh is right.
All right, I'm gonna be having Persona 4 Arena's menu music blaring at me.
No, don't. Please don't.
Just mute the
No,
TV.
it's in my headset, so like.
Oh,
Just mute the.
Can you
Yeah,
mute?
so like. It's playing right now. Can you guys hear it?
No.
No.
Good, fantastic.
Can you
Everything's working great.
you could turn the volume down in the game options, maybe?
Yeah, but if I don't have sound coming through, it's not gonna.
Well, you would have sound just coming out at zero volume. There's a
I can turn it
difference.
down on my headset.
I would
now
never want to
can't
use
hear-
those headphones of yours. I'm sorry, but if that's what it
Well, they
takes to
work
get
fine. Like I've turned it down. I hear nothing now.
Yes. Do you hear us?
Yeah. You guys are not coming through on my headset. You're coming through my speakers,
Oh.
which I can hear you.
That's the same setup that I use, basically.
Okay. Well, as long as this works, I'm just going to start this. So, what's up, everybody? You're listening to the Texture Pop. I am, once again, your stand-in host, Chris Acharya. And Sam is out visiting his grandparents, I believe. So, which is good. You should visit your grandparents, always.
Yeah.
Wasn't even trying to be funny there. I'm just saying, it's important to have grandparents, you know?
I hate old people.
Visit
Well,
them.
yeah, because without grandparents, you couldn't possibly exist.
Well,
Old people suck.
damn it. I'm saying at least, you should
No,
visit
I
them.
know what you meant,
Yes.
but you know I'm a dickhead, and I was going to do that anyway.
You were an incredible ass. Joining me, of course, as always, Brandon.
Hi, guys.
And Garrett should be here momentarily, as he's fashionably late. I don't blame him, mostly because, given...
You don't know this, but usually he's extremely busy, so it's actually
Yes.
difficult for him to take this time to do the podcast.
Poor guy lives in a full house, so I cannot blame him at all for being fashionably late. Nor should our
Starring Bob
listeners.
Saget.
But, so...
What a great guy.
Yeah, so standing in, we got a buddy of ours, Ian.
I'm Ian, and this is how babies are made.
Is it?
Yeah.
Can you back that up?
Babies are made when podcasts are recorded and people get pissed off at each other. Yeah, that sounds plausible.
Every time a rant happens on a podcast, a dumbass gets his wings. I don't even know what I just said.
And Hooker
Hang on.
and Hooker get pregnant.
Need to take a
This
test.
is a smart podcast. This is a
Need
real
to-
smart podcast.
Need to take
I
that
love to
test.
believe that there is a woman who exclusively hooks to us, our podcast. That's not true. It's never going to happen, but I'd like to believe that it would.
No. We need to get a woman on this show first, at
She
least.
can only get off to our voice.
That's
This
so
theoretical
bad.
woman
That's so
that
bad.
doesn't actually
That's a thought.
exist.
That's so bad.
That is certainly a thought.
So, anything really happened this week? I can't even remember.
Games came out.
Did they?
Tons of games.
Yeah,
I know of one that
we all know one.
Yeah, that we will get into shortly.
You're not Tsunder ready for it yet.
As soon as someone goes first.
Which is funny because a lot of people have been, obviously talking about Smash on the DS. 3DS
I
to be
forgot
exact.
Smash came out.
All right, that's the thing that people.
Yeah, that's the
about.
other fighting game that
Fingers
came
that
out
were the
that came out earlier was Super Smash Bros. 3DS, which
It figures where the
Spoiler
ones that we
alert,
forget
the
about.
game we're talking about is not Smash Bros.
no, unfortunately not. I mean,
Wait, do
Unfortunately,
we all have 3DSs, just to be clear?
I do not.
I do.
So if we got Smash Bros this week instead of what we did, it would probably just be me and Brandon.
Possibly. Although I did get a new piece of Nintendo hardware that I will talk about later. Well, fuck it. Everybody knows it's a Wii U. I've already said I don't have a 3DS, and I just said I got a piece of Nintendo hardware. What else could it be? Like,
You could have gotten a 3D. You could have gotten a new 3DS. No, you couldn't. No, it's not out yet.
no, that shit ain't even out in Japan. Can't even get that yet. Time of this recording. So for people who are wondering, why aren't we talking about Smash? Unfortunately, none of us have gotten a chance to play it. So there's that.
us being us, we got another fighting game
Yeah.
that came
So
out.
A better one. No, I'm kidding.
So to
I'm
get
not- I'm
right,
not gonna
so
say
to
that.
get right
Someone's
into
gonna
it,
kill me if I say that.
Brandon,
Yes,
what you been doing?
I am Tsunder ready to play Persona 4 Ultimax.
I have to wonder how many people still get that. Like people who do not play Persona or don't follow what's his face on Twitter.
What do you want me to explain?
That don't watch
The
anime.
Sunder Ready. Explain to people who might not know what Sunder Ready means.
There is a character that was introduced in Persona 4 Golden called Marie, and she was she's a DLC character in Ultimax, and her title is the Tsundere Poet of the Hollow Forest. So during ad campaigns that featured her, they use the tagline, and I quote, "Are you Sunder ready?"
Ah, that's so bad.
It's so dumb.
That sounds like something that Brandon would come up with.
There is someone in Atlas who really, really loves puns.
Everyone makes a pun in Persona 4 or Ultimax.
Yeah,
I realize that. Holy shit.
yeah. There is someone in that office who is having a blast just making up puns and bad titles for characters.
It's probably the same guy who wrote Shuji Akutsuki.
Oh,
Probably.
man. Just to some people, you're just throwing around gibberish. Although some of us do know what it is. So for the record,
I'm willing to bet most people watching this cast at least know vaguely of Persona, given the fact that I've talked about it so many times.
yes, you do. Every chance you get, like Destiny.
Let's
This
not
is
talk-
a Destiny podcast.
Let's not
No,
talk
no,
about
no, no, no.
You guys are my favorite Destiny podcast, by the way.
Oh, Jesus.
I love it when you guys talk about Destiny.
So for the record, aside from Brandon, all three of us here currently, we bought the game. We got Persona 4 Arena.
we all just literally finished playing like a couple matches with each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Despite some
Really
of the
good
weird ass technical issues we've been having.
Explain, Chris. What could you possibly mean by that?
So
I
Brandon
say
and I
with a
were
wink and a nod.
Brandon and I were trying to set up a lobby so we could just fight with each other, right? And no matter what we did, whether he hosted it or I hosted it, we couldn't connect to each other. And we've had this problem in the past with other games with each other. I don't know why.
So it wasn't that alarming.
No, but when we both went into ranked, searched, found each other, and played a ranked match, no problem. I don't know the logic behind that. I don't know why it worked and why other things didn't work. But that's what it
Also,
took.
The two
And
of
I
us
was there.
getting into a lobby would not work.
No.
Ian coming in, and we all get a lobby together works just fine.
Yeah, Ryu is a nickname that Ian uses, so to clear confusion.
My apologies.
That's the name I go
Th-
on.
That's like Bill O'Reilly. You can't explain that.
No. Yeah,
You can't
it's
explain that.
it just seems super dumb. But the game does have good netcode. It's
Yeah, the way it works is that it like takes a minute before like the match starts to just synchronize your connection with your opponent so that the actual fight is smooth, and afterwards it doesn't give a shit.
I wonder
Yeah.
if it's faster on Xbox 360 than it is
I
on
doubt it.
PS3.
Although actually PS3s don't have pretty bad connections compared to the 360
And load times. And more horrible.
and download rates.
yeah. Download rates are always a big one.
And social features.
Oh, and I know all about that, considering what I was putting up with earlier. But that's something we'll get to later. So, Brandon, your time with Persona 4, you've been logging a lot of time into it.
Yes, I have done quite a bit. I finished the episode P4,
Jesus
Which
Christ!
which is the part of the story that involves the Persona 4 cast primarily. I haven't done episode P3 yet, because that's unlocked after you beat episode P4. But I did do episode Adachi.
I finished episode of Dachi today, actually.
And episode Adachi, for those of you who aren't aware, Adachi, who is a significant character in Persona 4, is a DLC character that you can buy for free until Tuesday, which is probably well after this podcast airs.
Is it Tuesday? Tuesday when
Yeah.
they stop?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know Tuesday is also when they're going to have Margaret on the store, and you would
for
have to buy her,
$5.
which will probably be like this'll probably be posted by the time you have to start paying for this shit. So
Yeah.
You
Although
think of the
I
day.
heard, I talked with a friend, and the DLC characters actually, like on the 360, they are not on the disc.
Hmm.
Like
it
we get an
'cause-
unlock code, they get a whole 500 megabyte install file they have to download.
Is it because the Xbox 360 uses DVDs instead of Blu-rays?
Probably, if I had to
that
guess.
might have been. Who knows? I mean, I don't
But,
know how big this game is as a whole, but
Going back to the first subject, episode of Dachi. Like I said, he's a DLC character, and when you download him, you get an episode that you unlock once you beat the game the game proper, the episode P4, and it basically details what he was doing throughout the entire game, pretty much.
I want to talk about episode of Dachi, but Chris is here and he probably hasn't played it, so I don't want to spoil anything.
you know what? Well, not only
That's
that,
the thing, is that I don't want to spoil it because I know people with P4 tend to be really really uptight with story,
Yes.
justifiably so.
yes, we totally should not. Because me personally, I don't care if you spoil it for me, but for the people at home listening to this that are into P4, yeah, don't do that.
But I can't talk about its presentation, so I'm gonna go into that. Like in Persona 4 Arena, the first game, it was the story was basically a visual novel.
Yes.
Let's not mince words. It was a visual novel that occasionally interspersed with a couple of fight scenes that you played on.
Which is
And
one
choices.
Of the, which was one of the reasons I could not do it. Like, I like Persona 4 and I like the characters and everything, but holy shit!
And,
like, I can't be bothered to sit there and just watch this play out. Like, I don't have that much interest in it because I love the fact that they put in a thing where the prompts just automatically go. You don't even have to push a button. But it's so long.
They actually went further with that in Ultimax. Like it is still very much a visual novel, but they even added what is called auto mode, where in auto mode not only is the text automatic, but the AI will literally fight for you. In
Oh
the
my
scenes.
god! Wow.
That's kind of an acknowledgement that, hey, this game isn't really about the gameplay. It's all about story. Story mode.
Well, considering, like, because that was the big thing with this of people who love Persona are into RPGs, and they wanted to make, like, a fighting game that they wouldn't be alienated by, but at the same time they wanted to make a fighting game with depth. Because that was the line that they were walking with this. So, for people who want to come for story, but don't know shit about fighting games, they don't have to worry about it. But if you're like me, which was I came to this for a fighting game first, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, when do I get to fight something? When do I get to fight something? For God's sakes, when do I get to hit something? That's when I just go into arcade mode and say fuck it. And
Oh, just like everyone.
Yeah, and the AI in the story mode is piss easy as it is already.
Yep.
hit one button.
So having it fight for you, I honest, even that's for me completely overkill.
Yes, absolutely.
Like I'm okay with you skipping me having to press X just to do all the dialogue because that can get tedious.
The only thing that would have been like another step below that, or another step in that direction, would have been just like if a fight happens, you don't even see the fight. It's just a text screen of they fought each other in a furious battle. This guy won, and then just keep going. Like that'd be so lame if they did that.
My first experience with Persona ever was this fighting game via time trial and PSN. So you can imagine my rage when I downloaded this Persona 4 Arena time trial, hit the story mode, and then the first fight ever was 15 minutes. It was 58
man.
minutes in.
God.
Almost that whole hour was used up by nothing but text. It pissed me off so much.
Yeah, it's.
But yeah, that's something that you either have to like just bear with it, or just not care about the story at all.
Or
I don't know if anyone actually likes that style.
I'm sure there are people,
I tolerate it.
I mean, I'm sure there are people that do, especially because of, visual novels especially are still kind of a big thing in Japan. That's why I wish Sam was here. He'd be able to enlighten us on this because he's a fucking weeaboo. But But yeah, like people are super individual novels, so I can totally see why they went with that approach for this. Um, but for me, like I said, as much as I like Persona, I came to this for a fighting game first and foremost. So if I want that, but I care about any kind of story that's going on, I can basically just get the Cliff Notes version from the arcade mode, I guess. Depending on how true like the arcade mode storylines are to like what goes on.
There is no storyline in the arcade mode.
I mean, the arcade mode,
like,
it's basically like here's some lines of dialogue between matches, and then
yeah, like little blurbs of dialogue between characters.
Then you get like a
real
little
quick.
Then you get like a little ending after finishing it. So
Yeah.
Does the job.
yeah,
Although the actual story has like a final boss, which is only really interesting because it like changes the dynamic of the fights, because you instead of fighting a character, you fight a giant monster.
I was kind of half expecting it to go into like a more traditional Persona style turn-based battle. I don't know why.
That would have honestly probably been more appropriate. Although the actual fight is really easy,
Yeah.
like really, really easy. Like you might die like once because you're not used to fighting a giant monster, but after like 2 or 3 attempts, it's not a problem.
One thing they could have done to make it feel less divorced from the traditional Persona style RPG is just give more dialogue choices. That would have been appreciated.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that
Those seem super easy to do, and they don't even affect the story anyway.
there is like in all of the Persona episode P4, you only make choices like who is going, like you have like for example Yosuke, you, and Chie all in one scene, and they come across a fight. You got to decide which one of them is the one you're going to play as, and that's like the choice you make. But aside from that, there's only exactly one choice in the very end of the game that determines anything.
Yep.
And it's the only choice you make, period.
yeah, because I know there is like I was looking up on Game Facts, and there's like a true ending of some kind that you have to make specific
Yeah, I
choices
saw that.
for.
Oh, man. It was like, come on.
Yeah. Your silence there just seems like you were just disappointed with this.
Yeah. I mean, I knew because when I finished it, I got 94% instead of 100, which logically doesn't make sense. But it's still like, come on.
I went to GameFAQs looking for the secret SP skills, and I saw that section. I was like, oh, god damn it. Fuck. It's the worst.
So far, I only know what's in the in-game move list. That's you're telling me there's shit outside of that?
Yes, there's a secret, like, if you Google secret SP skills Persona 4 Ultimax, then you'll like come up on only articles of it.
You
just
are
like,
aware, just for record, Ian, that the internet doesn't always tell the truth.
No, but there's like a video of like Yu Narukami doing it's basically his equivalent to Sho's non-Persona SP skill. Like it's a secret skill where he does a whole bunch of slashes on you, and it's called Ranbu Narukami.
Oh wait, yeah, I think that was like an official like video from Atlas.
Yeah, but it was footage of it, man. It was real. Those secret SP skills are out there. I know it.
You're saying like you're talking crazy. That's what I want to say right now.
I'm not crazy.
You sound like a crazy person.
I gotta blow everything up to prove it,
Yeah,
man.
Ryu, that is crazy. So crazy, it just might work.
Though granted, like at the time we're doing this, the game hasn't even been out a week. So if some of that shit is in there, somebody's bound to find it eventually. And
well, I mean, in Japan, it's been out for like a month, I think.
oh, okay. So that's probably where like some of the stuff has been coming from as far as rumors go.
Yeah, probably.
I've seen it, man. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. I'm not crazy.
I know what SP move you saw when I fucking finished your ass with the Junpei earlier.
Oh yeah, for those of you who aren't aware, in the game, like when you are like if you're like one match away from winning, and you're awakened and you have 100 SP, you can try to pull off a special finishing move, No matter how much health the enemy has, if they pull it off, it's instant kill.
Mm-hmm.
Ryu and Chris were. I'm sorry, Ian and Chris were fighting. My mind is gone blank.
Yeah, because you're trying to distinguish between screen names, whereas on the show we don't use that. So
Just throw up the little bar buttons, the one that show like your audio levels. It covers up the names.
Chris and Ian were fighting each other, and Ian was trying really, really desperately to get Minazuki's finishing move off.
Been going on for a while too.
And for that reason, Chris totally took the win because he came out of nowhere and performed Junpei's finishing move.
Yep, it was great.
It covers the whole screen too, so I didn't know it went so far.
It's like Yukiko's move.
It's so wide.
Yeah, it's so
Blindsided
crazy.
me. It was an awesome finishing move too. Just home run out like through the scoreboard.
And through the school's clock tower.
So
Clock tower scoreboard.
So, Brandon, my question for you is somebody who you've played these RPGs, you know have a deep love of the story and the characters and stuff. Did you feel like you were satisfied with the story and everything with these games, like what
With the overall story, yes.
Yeah.
The presentation could probably use some work.
Yeah, and obviously that could be a bit tricky for a fighting game, but yeah, so I would say, Atlas and Arc System Works, they have still hit this really far out of the park with how fucking good this is.
Yeah, it's great. It's a fantastic fighting game. We all love it.
As well as like trying to make
Ian and I have been playing for several days in a row for the most part.
Like in the fact that they basically said, like the shit that goes on in these story modes, this is all canon. This is not just some shit side story or anything. No, this is like shit that has gone down.
Almost like a direct sequel.
Almost, yeah. But in fighting game form.
Fighting games are apparently expensive too. So maybe you guys remember back to that whole Skullgirls thing, right? Where they dropped all the prices on what it takes for one character.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I recall.
This thing isn't probably going to sell too well, especially with Smash coming out.
I don't agree, quite frankly.
Well, and
people who own consoles and a 3DS, they're probably going to drop the money on Smash and Persona 4 Ultimax.
The thing is, Atlas has been smart with how it spends its resources and how it does its releases. Like, Atlas has never been a company to come out and say, oh, we need this to sell like 1 million copies or we can't support this anymore. Like, they've always been like, oh, we sold this many. Well, that's good. Let's go on to the next thing. Like, they kind of keep their expectations in check. So,
yeah.
And I mean, I think regardless of how well it does here in the U.S., it's still gonna fucking kill in Japan.
You know what else kills in Japan? Smash Bros.
I'm sure it does. Yeah. But didn't? Well, I don't know, because I know P4AU has been out for like a month in Japan because you guys just said it. I don't know how long Smash has been out in Japan though.
Oh yeah, true.
I'm pretty sure Atlas is doing just fine.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Like I said, they've never been one to sweat the numbers on how well their game is or is not selling. And I will say, from a fighting game standpoint, obviously, I was a little miffed, and I was like, fuck, now I gotta buy a whole other game, despite the fact I just got this one. But Ultimax, like, it doesn't feel like Capcom bullshit of we're just re-releasing a new iteration of this. It almost feels like just a genuine follow-up, because they throw in enough new characters to where I feel like this was more than just a couple DLC dudes that they added into this. They threw in a very good, sizable chunk of new characters that I would say justifies getting this game. So
yeah.
Content, man.
They added a couple new mechanics as well. Like, a lot of the characters have shadow forms you can fight as.
Yes.
Which aren't too good.
They're honestly, they're kind of shit.
They're not very impressive. But I appreciate that they're there.
Yeah, and the changes they made to the shadow forms are that the SP that a shadow form has carries over between rounds, whereas for a normal person, the SP resets each round.
Yeah.
The shadows have the old auto combos from Persona 4 Arena, the first game.
Hmm. Because that's see, and granted, I have a considerable lack of experience with this to know what the differences were on that, though. But
Yeah, they changed almost all the auto combos from the old characters to new ones. And the shadows also cannot burst. For the people who aren't aware, when you're getting whammed by a combo in Persona 4 Ultimax or the other one, you can use your persona to repel your opponent away from you in a move called Burst. Shadows can't do that, whereas regular characters can.
yeah, I know I needed that burst.
But lastly, the biggest change is that if you have full 100 SP, the Shadow character, you can go Berserk, which gives you temporarily unlimited SP.
Did not know that.
But those are all the changes that Shadow forms have from their regular forms.
Yeah, that's also why
Which makes them interesting to play as.
we had pointed this out earlier when we were messing around with it, was the fact that in the previous game there was a character called Labris, who is a robot girl in a schoolgirl outfit. She had a shadow version of her character that was just a straight up another character on the select screen
With a different persona.
Yes, so it's like now you can have shadow version of Labris A, but there's still Labris B, and it's just super weird.
There is Labris's shadow form, and then there's another character, Shadow Labris.
Yes. So I don't know. It just seems kind of weird because fucking fighting games. But
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I'm pretty sure there were considerable differences between those two, even between the last game and this one. So.
Oh no! Playing as Labris versus Shadow Labris is like totally different experience because because the personas are so radically different that they're almost like completely separate individuals.
Yeah. And the way attacking with that shit works in between these games, like that is a huge difference. So
yeah. And one thing they also changed in Persona 4 Ultimax is that in the old Arena, every character had 4 Persona cards, no matter what they were. They always had 4 Persona cards. In Ultimax, they changed it so that different characters, different Persona cards. Like, Yu still has 4 because he relies on his Persona, but not to the extent that other characters do. Whereas someone like Elizabeth, who, if you don't have her Persona, she's basically useless. She has like 6 Persona cards before she gets broken. And someone like Akihiko, who doesn't need his Persona almost at all, only has 2 Persona cards.
Yeah, which makes perfect sense. So it's kind of a good little balancing act that they have, and like I said earlier, even kind of from a story standpoint, they wanted to make this feel like this was almost a good follow-up as opposed to just being here's another iteration of the same game.
Yeah.
So
not only is it another if not only is it justified as a sequel, it kind of eliminates 90% of the reason to get Persona 4 Arena.
Yeah, because
like even if you just want the story,
the story of Persona 4 Arena is a DLC that you can buy for this game.
Oh,
yep, it's $10. It's super easy.
So if you don't want to play the first game at all and just want to play this one, then just get the Persona 4 Arena story DLC.
Yeah, because from a fighting game standpoint, who's going to touch the last one now? Like,
the only possible reason I could see that people go out and buy P4A before P4U is if they want to get the story but don't have any internet.
I guess.
That sucks.
Because, like, yeah, it's just... Because I was... Despite how much I like all the new content and everything that they put in this, I still wish they weren't selling it for $60. Like maybe...
Oh yeah, they wouldn't be able to get the new characters either. That sucks. That really, really sucks.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to get Maria or Adachi.
No.
Or Margaret when she comes out.
Yeah, so there's just... there's like a... Well... Hang on a second. Junpei and like some of the other Persona 3 characters, they were also in the last one, weren't they?
No, the Persona
just 3.
Only Mitsuru, Akihiko, and Aigis were in the last game. They added Ken, Yukari, and Junpei to this one.
Right.
basically all the surviving members of Cease from Persona 3.
Right. So, but still, because like I was saying, it still feels like they have a justifiable number of new characters to where like this feels like a really good follow up. So
Yeah. Plus, the new villain is a character, and they, like I said, they brought back Adachi and Marie.
yeah, that's also what I think is kind of interesting. The fact that they actually do write in like new
Yeah.
characters as opposed to just sticking with dudes who are
Yeah.
strictly in the RPGs. So
And the cast is that basically almost doubles the cast.
yes, it's really good. Uh, yeah. So if you like some Persona or you like fighting games, whatever, it's totally worth it. Because like I said,
They were real smart with this whole Persona fighting game thing, because I'm not too into fighting games, and this is one of my favorite fighting games ever. Like, Persona 4 fighting games, they just feel so inviting.
yeah, because there was
Like,
always
super
Yeah.
easy for me to
And
get
they
into.
have some pretty good training modes too. Like if
Yeah.
you want to learn a character better, they have a mode that basically teaches you all the characters' combos.
which I totally need to do.
Unless
thought
you
it-
want to just do like me and just experiment.
Thought of a lot of things when coming up with this Persona 4 fighting game thing. It's
Because
really
it was
smart.
like, I look in the manual and I'm like, let me just see what the characters' moves lists are. Because sadly, it's not every day that you find fighting game move lists in a manual anymore. If some games even bother to print one, but it's like all of their basic moves. Okay, well I can't say that for Naoto, but like a lot of the characters, their basic moves are like quarter circle forward, quarter circle back, and whatever button. So, with the exceptions of like Kanji has a charge move, and like Naoto has like back forth moves, and like all this crazy shit. So, yeah, it seems kind of easy to get into, even if like you're playing around with new characters. But obviously, you would want to know what some of their stuff does. So,
Yeah.
The thing that really helped me get into this is because these moves aren't based on speed. You just got to do that. Part of the reason why it's so hard for me to play other fighters is because my big fat fingers aren't quick enough to do the moves and inputs.
Yeah, another thing that's really good is that all of the combos are quarter circles
yeah,
or of some sort, and that makes it really easy for even someone with like Ian said, fat fingers to do at least moderately well in getting a lot of the moves out.
I
Slow,
forgot.
fat.
Rise is also a new playable character in this.
Yeah, and for people who played P4, they do explain it. They do explain why she's fighting. Her persona evolves. So, and that there is precedent for that in the Persona canon.
I have noticed that because it seems like her persona now has a face, whereas I'm used to seeing like her persona's head is just this big satellite.
Yeah, like the story reason that she was getting sick of not being helpful to all of her friends, so her persona kind of evolved in order to help her overcome that.
Yeah, which is cool, and she still carries like a fucking mic stand and everything into battles because of
Oh,
course she
you
would.
remember when I hit you with the mic stand?
Yeah, it was pretty hype. I loved it.
Yeah, he was playing as Minazuki. I was playing as Rise, and I beat him by throwing a mic stand at him, and that's what knocked him out.
Like a true diva.
And the best part,
Amazing.
we were fighting to the theme song of Juness.
Yeah, that's such a dumb option. Like, I'm glad that is in there, but it was something I would never want to fight to.
Oh yeah. Basically, if there has been a song at all in P3 or P4, it's in this game.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
Any song you can think of, the song you listen to while you're in the town, yeah, that's in there. You can fight to that song.
Like, despite the
It was
fact, like, they don't have the proper kind of tempo or anything you would expect in a fighting game, but, like,
It's like, fuck it, who cares, right?
oh shit.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm just fighting.
Do it.
I'm just fighting Ian, going, every day is great at your Juness.
But, like, even like, the other, like, stuff that I could actually listen to, like, the song when you're running around town, like, it just has, like, such a mellow beat and everything to it. Like, why would you ever
Yeah.
play... Although, I'm also reminded of the whole fucking... I can't even think of what it was called, but it was a song that Super Best Friends use on something they call Friday Night Fisticuffs, where
Yeah.
they got that song from Capcom versus SNK 2, and there is a stage that uses that theme, and it's so dumb. Like, and I remember the soundtrack for fucking Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had stupid shit like that in there. Like, I was like, why is this in here? Like, oh man, good stuff. Also,
Why
Garrett's
not,
with
right?
us.
And if you want like in the P4 Ultimax, if you want like a hybrid of RPG and fighting games, there's a mode called Golden Arena mode.
Mm-hmm.
It's just easy from what I hear Brandon's telling me.
And the way it works is that you choose a character and each character levels up individually, and you choose a quote dungeon to explore, and basically it's just a series of battles that is simulating you going up the floors of this dungeon.
So,
And every 5 fights or floors is a boss fight. And as you complete fights, you level up, and your character both gets higher stats and learns new passive skills that can help him in the fight. Like, for example, I chose Adachi as the guy I was climbing the tower with, and I have a skill on that has a chance of inflicting mute on an enemy that I hit with any attack, and in a skull boost that both raise attack power and lowers the rate at which combos decrease your damage output. So it's pretty interesting, although I found that the AI was really stupid. Like, Adachi has a move where if you hit the circle button, it basically casts him as Zeodyne like you does, except it's not as powerful because it's not an SP move.
yeah, because I want to point out the fact that like Adachi, his persona is basically just this more twisted version of Izanagi.
Yeah.
Stitched together.
Yeah.
Like,
And literally, his name is Magatsu Izanagi, which Magatsu is Japanese for corrupted.
I thought it
makes
was
total
Japanese for
sense.
shadow.
Yeah, so it's literally corrupted Izanagi is the name of his persona.
That's
Are
great.
we allowed to talk about that, like, the biggest glaring flaw in the story, and it's at the beginning? Do you know what I'm talking about, Brandon?
We'll put a spoiler warning on this, so sure, go ahead.
The retcon with Marie.
Oh, right. Like,
Yeah.
the thing is that it's so uncomfortable because Marie was added in Golden, which came out after Persona 4 Arena did.
Yeah.
So they're like,
They sweep it under the
so,
rug
like,
super hard.
in the whole of the first P4 Arena, they don't mention Marie at all. But like in the first 5 minutes, they're like, "Where's Marie?"
It's like, oh my god, we didn't tell Marie. Where
And
the
she's
fuck
only in
is
like
she?
a handful of scenes in the game. Like, she's maybe in the game for like 10 minutes of cutscenes, which
Wow.
isn't
She's still
that
there.
much given that there's like hours of cutscenes in this game. It's worse than Metal Gear in that respect.
Cutscenes, quote, unquote.
We'll call them that. Even though it's literally just like a character's still art with their mouth moving to a background.
The fact that
It's
they
really
even
weird.
animate
They
their
can only
mouths.
do that on HD consoles. The mouth movements.
There are only a couple of actual animated cutscenes in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said earlier, the presentation it's disappointing, but I was as disappointed in the last one, and I didn't expect them to be any different. So it's disappointing, but not to a disappointing degree, if that makes any sense.
I wish we could have seen more of those anime cutscenes because the ones that they do have in there are really good. Like,
Yeah.
I remember being blown away the first time I saw Labrys's exclusive animated cutscene in the first game.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
yeah.
A lot of those scenes would have been helped by animated cutscenes.
Oh, good
Like,
stuff.
one example that I can think of off the top of my head is the plane scene in the first one, where Mitsuru's stuck on a plane, and I guess comes in and beats up all the bad guys.
Yeah, that really, like, there are a lot of scenes that sound like they would have been awesome if they were animated, even in like Ultimax as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. So anything else?
If you were a fan of Persona and or like fighting games, you'll probably end up liking Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
Yeah, if
If you
you
want to get your feet wet with fighting games, this is also good.
if you're one of those people like, hey, you missed out on the first Persona 4 Arena, just get this. Just
And then buy the Persona 4 Arena DLC.
It's only $10.
or don't. If you're like me, and you really don't give two shits about the story, then just you wanted this for a fighting game, play the arcade mode. But if you are coming in at this from the story, then I guess that's what you would do.
Nobody comes in for a fighting game for the story, except for us.
Yeah,
'Cause we're
very
crazy.
very few people come into a Persona game and don't expect a lot of story.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But as I've said,
Persona game?
ArcSys made a really good in-depth fighting game for people who wanted it. Like,
And that was
And
hard. They had to make something that was both friendly to beginners, since the Persona fans likely play a lot of RPGs, not a lot of fighting games, and something that would both appeal to the hardcore demographic. And
Yes.
that they succeeded. I'm not sure how.
yeah, it was amazing they managed to pull that off. So, props. So.
But I think we've probably dried up this particular well.
Does
I was gonna
Garrett
say-
have anything to say about it?
Garrett, I don't think you played anything with Persona 4, have you?
No, I have not.
Okay, so
Absolutely nothing Persona related,
Since it's,
except for Persona 3.
oh
I
nice.
think. Yeah,
Persona
that was
3
the
was
one
great.
where they. Yeah.
and this is a part where if Sam was here, he'd tell me how much Persona 3 was better than Persona 4 and tell me how much he was wrong.
would. Yep.
Persona 3's got more style.
I like Persona 3 a lot, and I actually want to get the remake. I'm not sure if I want to get it on the PSP Vita or the PSP. I want to get a PSP Vita, but I'm not
Just
sure.
buy the PSP version on PSN. You can get it, and that means you have it for both.
Ooh, sweet. I will do
Good
that.
stuff. So moving right along, Garrett. Now that you're here,
It's still my turn, dude.
oh, is it?
Did you play anything else this week, Brandon?
Yes, actually.
Tell us.
Before I played Ultimax, I finished Digital Devil Saga 2, finally.
How'd that go? Now, I will. So before you get to that, I will say, I want Brandon to spoil this, and considering how old this game is, I'm sure it's not that big a deal. So if you want to
Came
play
out in 2005.
yeah, if you want to play DDS, if you want to play Digital Devil Saga for yourself without being spoiled, don't listen to this next segment, whatever. So, that being said, spoiler warning. So, Brandon, how'd this go for you?
I think it's better if I just try to explain what happens in the end, because
Oh, this is gonna get convoluted.
This sounds like it's gonna get salty.
so the main character and the main love interest, they fuse together when they die and go to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And since all of the party members died before then, they all join up to go talk to God and convince him to not destroy the world.
Uh-huh.
Do you fight God? You get to fight God again?
You fight God.
And kill him.
God.
You basically. Oh, and by the way, heaven is the sun. The sun is literally heaven where all the souls go when they die.
Okay.
So yeah, your main characters fuse together. Surf and Sarah become Seraph. Get it? Because
oh God,
punny
yeah.
meaningful names.
Because I wasn't aware. I remembered Surf, but I didn't remember what her name was. But now that just that sounds so stupid.
Yeah, it's Sarah, so they become Seraph.
Yep.
Seraph or Seraph?
Seraph.
Yeah, whatever. But they go and speak with God, and the plot twist is that God was just upset that people forgot one simple thing. They never say what that thing is, but that's like the twist. And then the other twist is that the whole time, since Seraph reached enlightenment, he could travel back in time in cat form and guide you to
What?
do what you're doing now.
Oh wait, is that cat wouldn't happen to be named Godo now, would he?
No, his name is Schrodinger.
Ah, I was gonna say that because that
Of
would have
course
been
it's
awesome.
Get it?
Schrodinger.
Because
Connection.
Schrodinger's
Of
cat.
course.
Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah.
Because the twist is that Schrodinger was Seraph trying to guide Surf and Sarah to fuse to become Seraph and become Seraph so that they could go back in time to guide Sarah and Surf to become Seraph, and this is a time loop.
Yes.
And I'm not going to go further with this because this is kind of silly.
There's a lot of dumb, stupid, bullshit
Wasn't there
parallel universes.
But in
Shin
the
Megami Tensei.
end, all the main characters reincarnate as children and they play around in a park.
Wasn't there something about like there was they were in like a fucking simulation or something stupid like that?
Oh, that was Digital Saga 1.
Okay.
The thing they revealed at the start of Digital Saga 2 is that the entirety of the first game took place in a computer simulation, and all the main characters aside from Sarah were basically programs.
Oh, okay.
I like that aesthetic, the digital aesthetic.
And in the end, because the way the world of Digital Saga works is that everything, like the base molecule of life, is data.
That's weird.
So literally everything is made up of data. So a computer program materializing into the real world is really no big deal.
Huh.
Even though it only happens exactly one time in the entire history of that universe.
Okay. Because I actually wasn't familiar with the whole thing of, like, they go against actual God and convince him to not destroy the world and all this shit. Like, what did
Do you
they
get to
forget?
shoot at God with your gun? Oh, it's so good. It's so dumb.
Well, Seraph doesn't
I-
have a gun. They use a prana beam.
What?
What?
Which I don't know what that means. I don't know what that word means.
This
I
sounds
don't
like-
want to know. Don't tell me. I'm not going to care.
This sounds...
But it still takes It's a laser beam that shoots from their hand, but still takes ammo.
I was gonna say, when you said prana beam, I was like, this sounds like something like... So they have a gun that shoots piranhas? Because that's awesome,
no,
and where do I get one?
It's a
I thought too, man.
it's a laser that shoots out of his hand, but still somehow takes ammunition.
This is the only time where I've ever been disappointed by a gun that just shoots lasers, because now I wish it shot piranhas. Like, that's gotta be the only time that's ever happened. I want a fucking piranha gun now.
But yeah, like the big conceit is that
Get on that,
everything
Insomniac.
is data, in that every human also has demonic data within them. So when you get infected by the demon virus, it just unleashes that demon data in your system already present.
So despite the fact that they were in a simulation in the first game, in the second game they could still turn into demons.
Yeah, the reason the thing is that they are all simulations, but they are. Since Sarah has absolute control over data, so when she was being, because her whole plot arc is that she was an experiment to try to talk to God.
Right.
So they used her powers to do that, and because of the way they were treating her, she often retreated into this world where all the scientists and the people she met were avatars in that world that she played in. And they use that world to make up a simulation. So your main characters are basically her creations, based on people that she met in the real world.
So how did the cat get in the simulation?
Because the cat is magical and can be in all given times at the same time.
Of course.
Because he obtained enlightenment.
Okay.
So that cat, to be clear, is not Goto from Raito Kuzunoha games.
No, it isn't.
Here's my
That would have
question.
been so cool.
So, the dudes who turn into
I'm
the
sure
cat...
you have many of them. But
This is just what I'm wondering. Like, so we know that Seraph, he becomes the cat, and it's a time loop, and he's always going back in time to tell him what to do, right? But
yeah.
once the cat has finished his job, does the cat just get to fucking chill out then, or... Like,
Well, no, because then Seraph has to go back in time to tell Surf and Sarah how to do what to do to become Seraph.
Right,
and
right,
then
right.
Seraph has to go back in time.
Right. See,
And
that's what I'm saying, though. So, given the nature of time travel, the original Sarah and Seraph, like
in
Seraph...
the end game, the Seraph that's Schrodinger and the Seraph that you play as fuse together.
So,
To
okay.
create Seraph. To
Did
create
they do the
Seraph.
fusion dance? Did they do
No,
like
no,
the
no. They
Dragon
just
Ball Z
touch each
fusion
other and it
dance?
happens.
Oh, that's lame.
So the cat's always having to go back and do all the shit. That's a shitty fate. I'm sorry. To always go back and make sure you do shit right? Like, when does it stop? Like,
It's like Groundhog Day.
Well, the thing
Yeah.
is that he's reached enlightenment, so he doesn't have any emotions anymore.
So he's like Dr. Manhattan.
In cat form.
So Dr. Manhattan as a cat living in Groundhog's Day.
Yes.
If you didn't have emotions,
That
would you
sounds
care
like
if some? Yeah, would you care if something was shitty or not? Like,
that sounds like an amazing, like,
Well, no, all he needs to do is make sure that his past self becomes his current self.
right. And then they fuse together, and the whole thing starts all over.
Oh yeah, another thing I forgot to mention is that the reason that the world is ending, the reason that God is angry, is because 5 years ago, the guy who your character Surf was based on, who's also named Surf,
Right.
manipulated the fuck out of Sarah into speaking to God for him so that he could try to take God's power for himself.
Oh man, yeah, that's not good.
And she found out, and her anger is what enraged God.
Yeah.
So him being manipulated bastard towards her is what caused the world to come to an end.
So way to go, sir.
oh,
You fucking dick.
I thought it was because we made Left Behind.
And then he became a demon, and then literally he turned into a demon and ate all the rest of the research crew.
Oh god.
Shots.
That's
This
fucking
is a
swish.
this is a story that is nearly impossible to explain to somebody else.
I know, but Garrett just won the podcast with that one. That was,
Thank you.
But yeah, so you come to the realization that
I get it.
your character, the protagonists, the person he was based on was a complete and total prick.
yeah.
And that's somewhat interesting because then, because the current self is still alive somewhere. So when you figure that out, he comes out of the woodworks, and you have to kill the person that you were based on.
That's interesting. It's kind of like Hitman.
Yeah.
See what I did
Kinda.
there?
So
Something
it's a really weird story,
Mhm.
but
This being an
it's a
SMT
pretty
game.
fun game.
Yeah.
If this is an SMT game, you get to choose your own path, right?
Well, there are choices you make in the game in terms of dialogue, and those choices affects the skills you'll get in the end game. Like there are certain really overpowered skills that you can only get given certain dialogue choices, and the fifth character in your party is determined by dialogue choices you made as well. Like if you choose the right options, you'll get one of the characters from DDS 1, whereas otherwise you'll get one of the new guy from DDS 2 to join you instead.
So there's no chaos, order, and wildcard ending?
No.
Ah, lame.
But aside from that disaster of an explanation, I was also accepted into a beta of something called Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
Yeah, I've heard some things.
I
here
say
and there.
accepted, but I never applied for it. It just kind of came into my email.
Yeah, because first I heard that the only time I heard of this was when it supposedly got canned for copyright reasons. And now I guess it's back on, but
Probably not as good as Battle of Z.
I have no idea.
I played for an hour and I couldn't connect to an online game. So
Oh.
What a rollicking success for
Well,
a
that's
beta.
that's the first bug they gotta fix. That's holy shit.
Make sure people can
So,
play your game, guys.
I'd love to tell you what I thought of the game, but I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that'll also kind of make this easier to go into our next segment then.
So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to point that out. Just one last thing though. I officially kickstarted something finally. There's a board game called One Night Ultimate Werewolf. I don't know that they've played a couple times on a table flip that's made by Game Grumps.
Mm-hmm.
I have Ultimate Werewolf.
So they're doing a Kickstarter for an expansion called Daybreak. And that was the first thing I've ever donated money to a Kickstarter to.
How much did you drop on this Kickstarter?
$25.
Is that going to net you a copy of One Night Ultimate Werewolf Daybreak?
It's going to be a copy of the expansion, yes. For $65, I could have gotten both the expansion and the regular game. But I decided instead of doing that to just donate $25 and then buy it off Amazon Prime for less than the cost it would take to upgrade that.
Not a bad idea.
Because yes, I'm cheap.
It's a pretty good price on Amazon. Pretty fairly priced.
$19.99.
I got is like $20.
Yeah, I got it for $19.99 and it came in, and since I had Prime, it was 2-day shipping.
Wow.
Amazon Prime is a nice service. I love it.
Yeah, it can be.
If you use Amazon a lot, then it's worth it. If not, then it's not.
So Ian, how are you doing?
I'm doing.
What have you done this week?
I've played Persona 4 Ultimax,
Yeah.
You've talked about that enough.
but before that, I knew Persona 4 Ultimax was going to be taking up a lot of my week, which is bad because I was trying. Okay, so when Brandon and me were playing Dead Space 3, right? I had to.
By the way, Ian was my Dead Space 3 partner,
Yeah.
and he's the reason I didn't delete that game, and I blame him for everything.
I regret nothing.
I was gonna say, didn't both of you uninstall it at one point? Like you just had enough.
Oh,
The
yeah.
moment we
totally.
finished, we both uninstalled it.
Right after we finished, it's just gone.
Because fuck
Oh.
that game so much. I hate it.
Yeah. Can't really get anything more out of Dead Space after you fight the moon.
No.
Yeah.
God.
So I wasn't able to get Dead Space first because I didn't have enough memory on my hard drive for it. So I went through my games list and I decided to I don't know. I deleted a couple things. It costed Dead Space 3 needs 11 gigabytes and I had 16 available and it still didn't install. So I did a hard format of my entire PS3.
Ugh.
Are you stupid?
But before I did that, I copied down all my saves on the console and moved it over to the cloud on PS Plus.
Good man.
And not all my games made it out alive.
Oh no.
But the plus side is that all my Western games, like The Last of Us and what else? Basically all my Platinum and Suda 51 games didn't make it. So I had a reason to play all those again, which I was super happy about. I beat all my Suda 51 games, and before I picked up Ultimax, I was playing Metal Gear Rising again.
Ooh.
That game is amazing.
Yes, I love it.
Good. Fucking, just that game is a 6-hour erection.
Yeah.
A boner. Just a long lasting boner.
Check
Great.
out my big boner.
That is one big boner.
Yeah, the big boner was a gun in fucking Shadows of the
That
Dead.
was damned.
Fill that hole with your spicy hot boner.
Oh,
Your
God.
attacks are weak. They lack penetration.
I need to finish
Yeah,
that game
I
one
get-
of these
I get
days.
to play all my character action games again and a couple of shooting games. And then after I'm done with Metal Gear Rising, it's on to Bayonetta, which I'm trying to beat before October 22nd,
I need
which
to
is
beat
when the Korra game comes out.
Wait, oh, yeah.
The Avatar Korra game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first episode of the new season dropped yesterday.
I unfortunately
great.
have not watched a single episode of that, despite the fact
Well, it's on their website now, so everyone can watch it.
that cool.
Well, season 3 and season 4 are going to be on there. Season 3 is already on there. It's the best season out of all of them. And season 4 is going up right now. It's weird the way they do it. They don't release all the episodes at once. They still do it like one new episode a week, like a TV show.
You,
That's weird.
But then, afterwards, after they all come out, eventually you can just fucking binge.
Yep, just binge all of them.
I think watching's become the new norm when it comes to television.
Hmm?
It seems like binge watching has become the new norm when it comes to television consumption.
Yeah, that definitely.
Yeah,
Well, if you like a show enough, why would you wait a week to see another one when
that's
you can
just
just
the
watch
thing
them all
of
right
just
now?
people are fucking impatient, which is why things are the way for a lot of folks. Unfortunately, with technology and the like, is because people can't fucking wait.
But it's right there. It's right there in front of
I know.
you, man.
I know. I totally know.
All there.
'Cause why
Great.
would
Whose
we-
mic is that?
I think it's cool. Oh, it's Garrett's.
Here, I'll be right back.
Okay. But anyway, Ian, you were
I
saying.
get to play all my platinum games again, and hopefully I can do it before Korra comes out, which is probably not going to happen because there's going to be a lot of games coming out this week.
I hear
Like
some good
Alien
stuff
Isolation.
Yeah.
Alien Isolation is out Tuesday, and then The Evil Within comes out, I think, the 14th. It's just month of empty wallets.
Yeah. Oh man,
Oh, well.
I know all
I
about
think
that.
Persona 4 Ultimax has been the game I'm buying for like the month.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Come on, man. Evil Within, if you like Last of Us, Evil Within. It's great. Looks good. It's a Shinji Mikami game.
Yeah.
You have to be nuts. That guy made third-person shoot.
Why? Wait a minute. What is with that? Hang on a second. What is with that? Why are you groaning?
Do you just not like shooters? Is that...
No, it's like I'm a whiny little bitch and I hate horror games.
I'm back.
Really?
Well, it's
Really?
not like pure horror. It's survival horror. So like, it's not gonna be 100% scares all the time. There's gonna be like more on the tension side of things than it is horror.
No, I'm a total pussy. I will admit this.
You need to play some Fatal Frame.
I know
Resident Evil 4 is the
I
game-
know what Fatal Frame is,
Yep.
dude.
Mm-hmm.
I know what Fatal Frame is.
Running out of film all the time.
Oh god, that's good. Oh, so okay, but Brandon's groaning aside, anything else, Ian, that you wanted to bring up, or?
I just want to grown to spite you.
I watched the first episode of Korra, and that's really about it. It's weird because, like, there's one voice actor in there, Todd Haberkorn. He voices like the antagonist's fiance, and it's weird that this dropped the same week as Persona 4 Ultimax because he voices Sho Miyazuki.
I need to
weird.
watch Avatar at some point. I hear it's a really good show.
Did
It's nice.
Did
It's
you
real-
ever watch the Last Airbender series, or?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I did. I have all
Real
three.
nice
Yeah.
kid show with a lot of adult appeal. It's pretty good.
The thing I really loved about Avatar was that this is the first show in a long time that felt like it was just genuinely trying to tell a good, well-told story with good, memorable characters and character building and all the good stuff that a good story needs. It wasn't just another shit show of, here's a 30-minute commercial of shit we can sell to kids. You know, like my childhood was, basically.
Biggest glaring example is, of course, Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, not even those, but like shit like Ben 10 and fucking
Transformers.
Yep. G.I. Joe. Anything Hasbro had anything to do with. Although, granted, My Little Pony is kind of somewhat of an exception, although there's still some toyetic bullshit in there. But still, Avatar, that was like a pure show. It was its goal was trying to tell a really awesome story with good characters. It wasn't just trying
Pure
to sell
show.
you shit.
Nothing else, unfortunately, because I picked up the Avatar GameCube game, and that was since I was a stupid little kid, I could tolerate it, but like thinking back on it,
Probably
it's
wasn't
not
that
very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
Burning Earth.
obviously
shit
there was
show.
going to be some merchandising from it because it was so popular.
But no, this is probably going to be the first Avatar game that's probably really good, or at least will have the platinum magic on it.
Fun story. Avatar: The Burning Earth, which is an infamous 360 game that had only
1,000 gamer score in 5 minutes.
It had 5 achievements, and you can get them all in the very beginning in a few minutes. I read
Do you know
it.
what's also infamous?
Is it
Infamous.
infamous?
Yeah. Brandon, I'm sorry, but I see some of your bad jokes coming a mile away. Miles
That's
and
the
miles
point.
fucking way.
That's the whole point.
They're terrible.
We can't handle these super high damage pun
No.
attacks.
You know what's also terrible? Dead Space 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
know.
is pretty
Not
bad.
wrong.
I know it is. Getting back to Ian before
Resident
we
Evil
interrupt him
4
again.
Resident Evil 4 will cure all what ails you about shooters in horror.
Resident and Dead Space 3 will give you all of the sicknesses in the world. That game causes cancer.
I wouldn't go that far.
Dead Space 3 worse than liquor. Is a quote I've heard Brandon say while playing it. But no, that's all my week.
Okay, cool.
What's been going on with y'all guys?
Hey, Garrett.
Yes.
Hey, Garrett.
Hello.
Hey, Garrett. Hey.
Yes.
Hey.
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 What's playing?
Chris loves you.
What'd you do this week?
Damn, I'm trying to think. This week I did. I think this week I did.
What a great week.
Yeah, you're stumped, aren't you? You're just...
I made.
And this is unusual because he usually does a lot of stuff in his week.
I think that's why he's having a hard
No,
time.
I don't.
Because you do so much shit. It's hard to keep track of it all.
All my texture pop memories of Garrett is just him playing League of Legends. That's
Yeah.
about it.
It's pretty much all I do. I did play League, and I did absolutely terrible.
Aw.
Recently. Yeah, I played.
Terrible relative to what? Your usual game or something that I'd be expected to do? Because I think I'd be terrible.
I did 2 games, and we lost, and it was bad. My first game I actually did really good. I was the best on the team as Jax. It was great. My teammates were idiots, and I kind of, and so we lost. And I was not very happy with that. And so in my Skype status, I posted a few angry statuses about it. And then, but I didn't yell at them because I'm not toxic. And then after that, we played another game, and I just did terrible. And I was like, I'm done. I'm actually scared to touch it again.
I'm sure you'll go back to it.
Yeah, I know I will. It's just like,
or you'll play Dota.
Also not as my league.
With how much money I've spent in microtransactions, I have to, or I'm an idiot. So.
I know for a fact I've spent only about $50 on that game.
Oh, I wish.
This is why I don't spend cash on free-to-play games, because I'm always worried that I'll think that I'll need to get attached to it.
Oh my god, yeah. League! That has its hooks in me, or in a better case, it has its hooks in my wallet. So.
I gave Warframe $10. That's about it.
I need to play Warframe more. That's
it's not too good.
What Warframe is it?
Well, because I see all. It's because the reason why I say that is because I see all the good stuff and I can't get any of it unless I drop money on it, which that sucks. I know it's free to play and they got to make money somehow, but I just want a little bit more.
It's pay to win.
Do some grind. It's not. No. I will say I will defend Warframe to the death. That is not pay to win.
Warframe is really I have this weird relationship with Warframe because being a space bullet ninja and doing there's platforming in that game, which is not too common in third person shooters.
Yeah.
Action games. Well, action games, but shooters. Doing crazy flips.
Mm-hmm.
Ninja Gaiden flips off walls to get to higher areas. That's super good.
It is a well put together
But my gear
game.
sucks. My gear sucks, and I want different weapons. I got a staff.
That's good. That's
about it. It took me 3 days to get that staff.
Yeah. So
I want to get it faster.
You can do that without paying a dime.
Really?
Yes. You just got to play.
So many menus, man. That's a PC game through and through.
Yes.
I played it on the PS4. It's not. Feels great to play. It's not. Well, it's better than Destiny.
Oh yeah, I will agree to that. Up
we'll get
and
to that.
Down.
We're getting to that.
You know what else has more content than Destiny?
Because it's Garrett's turn, and I think Garrett did buy a game this week.
I didn't buy a game, but I went back to my PSP and I played the Third Birthday. I've been playing that.
How is that?
You know what? People hate it. Compared to the other Parasite Eve games, it's not as good, but it is a good game.
Hmm.
I've been enjoying it. I might have got a game on Steam. Oh, I got the Yawhg on Steam. That's right.
What's
That
the
is-
Yawhg?
That is actually pretty fun. It is a game where something terrible is going to happen in 6 weeks, and you know this, but no one in the village knows it. And so it's like, how do you spend your week or
Right.
your 6 weeks?
Why don't
Just
you?
like real.
Why don't you warn them of the impending apocalypse?
Yeah. Oh god. I went and saw Box Trolls, which was okay.
Yeah, I hear the big thing that I hear most people say when they see Box Trolls is like, it's no Paranorman, but
Yeah, it's not Coraline, it's not Paranorman, but it's okay. I had high hopes for it, and all I can say is kind of disappointing.
there is some really good stuff about that movie when you look a little bit between the lines on it, but overall it is a very serviceable, decent stop motion film, which I am glad stop motion is something that still happens. Like, I'm glad there are people that still make those kinds of movies.
Yeah.
I hope stop motion never goes away like 2D animation.
I know. I miss seeing hand drawn movies. I miss that. Like,
Yeah,
I watched
I
this,
understand that completely.
yeah.
I watched this trailer for something called Kairos, and that has like the most gorgeous 2D hand drawn stuff ever.
Like,
I-
and I know this is going to sound unsurprising coming from me, but the only thing that I can think of that was an animated movie that I've seen recently was the Persona 3 movie.
yeah.
Battle of Z was out in theaters was out in a limited supply in
Yeah.
theaters.
A friend of mine went and saw that.
It's coming out on DVD. Oh yeah, it's coming out on DVD this month too. I'm gonna pick that up.
He seemed to really like it, so I might get the DVD for that.
Goku fights a cat.
Yep.
It's great.
He's got instruction.
Garrett, tell us about the Yawhg some more.
The Yawhg is fun. I got a very bad ending.
Uh-oh.
How? What did you do?
I didn't make my character as good as he should have been, possibly. So it was I got a really bad ending. So basically, at the end of the 6 weeks, spoiler, what it is like a giant like typhoon or something like that, and it wipes out the city.
So wind and waterfall, everyone dies.
It floods the city, and you have to fix it. In order to fix it, in order to fix the city, you have to have had your character smart enough to be like a leader or a conjurer and conjure up food and stuff like that. Rebuild stuff like that. The first ending, that did not happen.
Uh-oh.
There was a friend of mine I was playing with. You have to download something in order to play it online with somebody. But I was playing online with Ike, and his ending was the city goes to hell. He's not able to lead it, and a mugger actually steals from him and stabs him in the stomach, and he dies.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
That was his ending. My
Wow.
ending, believe it or not, was far, far worse.
Oh no.
being
And
worse than being robbed and stabbed.
No
Yes, it affected me to the point where the next day I had to go to college, and all I could I was like looking it up on my phone and stuff, that ending, like how it affected other people, because I'm like, it really messed with me. When I first started out, I was hunting animals. I was hunting for food, and I took a break at a shrubbery, at a nice like shrub, and all of a sudden a hand came out and dragged me through the thorns
Oh my
into an alternate dimension and chained
What?
me up in a cave and began tearing off my flesh and devouring it, and
Oh
then
my
it would wave
God.
its hand, and I would immediately be healed, and then it would do it again.
That's
Jesus.
I have no
This-
mouth.
That's
Crap.
dark.
Yeah, exactly. I immediately thought of I have no mouth and I must scream.
God.
this went on for years until finally another monster began fighting that monster, and during the whole thing, I was able to escape. I escape and am able to exit the dimension and go back home. And in my world, in our time, only 1 day had passed.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So that guy just lost almost how long of his life?
Yeah. I had been there for about I don't know. It said I'd been there for years, but when I got home, it's like, oh yeah, only a day had passed.
That's
in my time.
That's super.
But in the
fucked.
dimension, yeah, but in the dimension, like years had passed where I'd been chained on the wall, and the thing was just tearing at my flesh and eating it, and then healing me, and then doing it again and again.
Right, that is horrible.
So the end of the game is the town is screwed. I pick up a piece of a mirror, and behind me, I see the shrub. And before I can react, the hand grabs me, drags me through the thorns. I'm back in the cave, and it says, "You are eaten alive for the rest of eternity."
Ouch.
That sucks.
Yeah,
I was like,
bad
yeah.
day.
I was like, I would gladly take.
I
this
think
stab.
sucks is a bit of an understatement.
Yeah. So, tip for playing the
That
Yawhg,
is.
people: don't go near any fucking shrubs. Jesus, that's
Do not
They're
start
everywhere,
out.
man.
Yeah,
So you know, go.
do not start out hunting animals. Do something else.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
like holy
Yeah, so
crap.
Yeah, I was like, I would gladly have taken getting stabbed in the stomach.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That sounds like a much more welcome alternative.
But no, the second ending I got was a happy ending. Yeah, this is the village. It I did a lot of crime fighting, and so I'm the conjurer, and I conjure all the food and stuff, and then the village is back to normal. Like, we rebuild it within like a week, and it's like, yay. And then I can't find any crime to fight because everyone's so happy and peaceful there, so I don my costume and go to another village. And that's it. That was the end. I was like, it's open-ended and cute. I like it.
That's nice.
What a Far
Yeah,
Cry.
yeah.
Bad ending.
Yeah, Far Cry from "You are eaten alive for the rest of eternity."
Yeah,
It's
that
like,
was,
I was, yeah, I don't know. I was in class, and the teacher was like, 10-minute break, and I immediately pulled up my phone, was looking at that ending, like, I wonder if that fucked anyone else up, because I can't stop thinking about that.
yeah, that's.
That's the kind of thing that
Jesus.
sticks in your head.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, I can't stop. I was like, man, shit. And then I have, let's see, I did that. I've been going back and reading all my comics again. I have Sandman issue 3, the newest one of Overture. I have issues 1 through 3 of Rocket Raccoon. I can't wait for the 4th one. Oh shit, the 4th one should be coming out soon.
I need to pick some of those up because I've only read the first one.
Dude, the 4th one's gonna be coming out in like a few days. I just thought of that.
Nice.
Or, I think. I don't know. I'm gonna look that up real quick. Been playing third. Okay, I already mentioned third birthday. Haven't exactly touched my Xbox 360 in a while. Feel bad. I need to.
Yeah,
I can't stop playing
Love it,
PC
yeah.
games. Yeah, I can't stop playing PC games.
But didn't you rent something for your 360 not long ago?
Yes,
Oh yeah.
Which
I
was
rented Destiny. I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
no.
No. We
Let's get
weren't
this out of the
we
way.
thought you were going to rent it. Now we got to talk about it.
Let's get this out of the
Oh,
way.
It's okay. It's I have to agree with the critics where it's not good, it's not great, but it's still fun. However, if there's a game you have to get, I have to say get Borderlands 2, please. Stick with Borderlands 2 because it's got a better style. It doesn't take itself so seriously. They changed Dinklebot's voice a little bit. He's now more robotic, so it kind of makes sense.
Put more fucking
Sounds bored
filters
all the
on
time.
there. That'll excuse his voice acting.
Yep, that's pretty much what they did. Oh, and they took out his wizard. That wizard's from the moon. Came from the moon. They
Yeah,
took
that-
out that line.
They did that in the beta. I was super disappointed after
That
they
wizard came from the moon.
They put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah,
Why?
I know. I want that on a T-shirt. I want to get that T-shirt.
Put it on a T-shirt, and then they never talked. Like they didn't own it. They didn't write it till the wheels fell off. What a disappointment.
They should have. And no, it wasn't. That wizard came from the moon. It was that wizard came from
So,
the moon.
like, so when you played this, like, you played by yourself or with other people? Like, what
I've been playing online with people. It's not great. I've been playing online with a friend of mine from New York because he's like, this game is awesome.
Mhm.
Oh, this game
That
is so
sounds
awesome.
familiar, doesn't it, Ian?
Mm-hmm.
It
I
it
know what you're
is.
talking about.
You guys might have heard me talking about someone who watched me play League, and he was like, "Wow, that game looks like shit. And it's only got 4 maps. That sucks. What are you doing?"
For
League of-
reference, Ian is
League
the
of
one who
Legends
got me
looks
into the
dumb.
Destiny beta.
Yeah.
He was the one I was saying this. Come on,
I said it was
play
gonna
this
be the
game.
next big
Play
thing.
this game, Brandon. It looks awesome. And then
I
I
said
played
it was
and
going to be the next big thing, and it sold 325 million, so it is big.
Yeah,
but yeah,
Not wrong.
but I kind of...
this is my
and
friend
I
who
sat there. I'm like, this is really the thing that everyone's talking about is the best thing ever. Like, really?
I know, right?
Yeah, I have a lady friend of mine. She's really into it. I don't know why. She...
I mean, it's not a bad
gunplay feels
game,
good.
but it's like
It's-
there's just like so much better you could do.
There's-
It's
so much
very
better.
middling.
It's boring and uninteresting, but it feels good to play.
Which is basically Activision standard.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah.
makes me wonder if this was Bungie or like Activision just like going focus test, focus test, focus test.
Well, so something that I had brought to my attention earlier in the week was somebody was talking about a post on Reddit where supposedly one of the former developers came out and was saying that like the lead producer, like the guy left 7 months before the game was supposed to ship, and then everything went downhill. And the reason
that
the
would
guy
make sense.
And the reason that the guy left was because he didn't like what Activision was telling him to do, because Activision was too scared to let Bungie do what they wanted. And like I said, take all of this with a grain of salt. It's unknown whether or not if what this guy posted was in fact true, whether or not if he was really somebody from Activision, but whatever. People are saying that he is, but I don't know.
If that's true, though,
But
it
according to
would
what...
be somewhat ironic because that's exactly where they left Microsoft.
Yeah, but basically what this guy was saying that was that Activision was spending too much money for Bungie to just do what they wanted, and that Activision was afraid of scaring off their quote-unquote Call of Duty crowd because they wanted to appeal to them, and they felt like too much mystical
But they
MMO
already
bullshit.
have a product that appeals to the Call of Duty crowd.
I
It's
know.
called Call of Duty.
I know, but they wanted those people to buy this too. So
Doesn't make sense. Why would you compete with yourself?
I don't know. It's like I said, whether or not if this is or is not true, may or may not be true, but it almost makes sense. I mean, considering the fact, and I've heard previous development stories that were confirmed to where Activision would just keep their nose out of stuff. If a developer was doing something, just let them do what they're doing. Check up on them once in a while to make sure, like, hey, you guys are still making this, right? Okay, cool. But considering the fact that Activision was putting down $50 million for this game, I can imagine why they would have been concerned. So,
I wouldn't, honestly, and the reason I say that is because that game was guaranteed to be a blockbuster. No matter what happened.
which is kind of
Slap the
sad.
Bungie logo on a shooter, and then
It was
nuts.
Absolutely guaranteed to be a blockbuster and make whatever money back that they spent.
Make sure you
Worst
tell them,
part-
hey, from the makers of Halo.
The worst part is that
Yeah.
Bungie is kind of a former shell of what they once were. The
Mm.
thing that
Oh,
tore it for a
absolutely.
lot of people is they fired Marty, which is, oh, man. You don't fire Marty, man. That guy, I was raised on that guy's music. Halo is like my first, like, definitive memory of a game. And
Mm.
I know that theme song by heart.
Yeah, I just remember the whole thing of like that guy left 7 months out before they were set to release it, and a bunch of stuff like cutscenes that you would have seen in like E3 press conferences and stuff got cut, and like a lot of story elements got cut, which is why a lot of people say that some of this stuff is true because the way the story and the cutscenes and everything play out don't make a whole lot of sense. and this kind of
See,
Well, no, it's the light going against the darkness.
see it in the trailers, man. There's footage in the trailers. It's not in the game. And it drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Yeah.
want to see that, man.
And the fact that their story is fucking grimoire cards. That's what disgusts me the most. You couldn't have this, like, in the menu somewhere.
Yeah, you have to go online for them.
That's bullshit.
I still
getting,
haven't looked at them.
But getting back to Garrett's impressions on this.
Hello.
Right,
Like
it's your turn.
Yeah,
Forgot.
like how much time were you spending on this?
Well, on Destiny, I've been playing a lot actually, and it's so far really. It's enjoyable with it's enjoyable with a large group of people, and honestly, getting new stuff, like finding like exotic weapons as they're called, which is like the rare of the drops. Finding those is actually really fun.
It has that effect on you, man. Destiny feels good to play, but you're bored out of your skull playing it.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of worth mentioning the fact that depending on when you started playing this, you may have started playing this after they patched the loot. Because I know that was something they did recently.
Oh, the loot cave.
That was a
The
joke.
loot cave was huge, yeah.
And purples always give you blues. That fucking sucked.
Mm-hmm.
I got burned so many times with that stupid loot system. Like, the only time I got purples was when they gave me purples for a class that wasn't mine. Drove me nuts.
Wow. Oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It used to be a joke. Follow the Twitter accounts. Legendary
Engram.
And the Cryptarch. Those...
The darkness, and you're the light.
The Cryptarch is the final boss of the game.
Dear Lord.
That guy's the real final boss.
But yeah, so anything else to mention on that, or...
If you play it in a group of people, it's fun. My friend thinks Halo is like one of the greatest games ever made. Oh, and he absolutely loved, absolutely loved, Call of Duty Ghosts. He's one of them. So yeah.
So he played this, and of course he ate it up.
He's like, it's amazing, it's incredible, I absolutely adore it. Thank God for this game.
Not as nuanced as Halo.
No. It's not as nuanced as Borderlands, so fucking shit. Which is why I'm so glad that my new video card came with the Borderlands, the pre-sequel code, so I can look forward to that.
Is that coming out this month too?
I think it's next month.
Oh.
I have to look
It is October now.
So, you gotta be on the lookout for these games, man. They'll blindside you.
All I know now is that it's on my Steam list, and when that hits, I can fucking get it. I'll preload that shit if I can. Which is not something I do often.
Preload is good.
Preload is very good.
So, Garrett, anything else to mention about that, or?
Not really.
Okay, so...
I played it by myself, and I thought it was still kind of fun. Well, by myself as I could. I still had, like, other people coming in and fading out real quick.
Yeah.
With these gold events.
It's just not great.
It's just kind of...
It's actually kind of just... Yeah, it's like...
It's just not great.
Like even if, like, you strip the story or whatever, even if you take away all that, and you wanted to look at this as, this is a treadmill for getting guns and shit, is the treadmill fun? No? Okay, bye. That's basically it. Like,
yeah.
Because it's like, sometimes stuff like Diablo, like I can enjoy that treadmill, Borderlands, I can enjoy that, but Destiny, I'm not sure. I don't know. Just, Also, October 14th is when Borderlands pre-sequel drops, so...
This month.
We'll talk about that. So, to kind of wrap this up a bit with what I've been doing, I recently came into possession of a Wii U.
I thought you were gonna say a weapon. I was like, holy shit.
No, I own weapons. I have a straight up Sword.
It's America. Who doesn't?
I totally own a sword. But
Yeah.
no, I got a Wii U. I bought the Mario Kart 8 bundle, as it was, because, like I said, if there was... Yeah, of the bundles that they had, that was the most appealing one to me, even if it was $30 more than any of the other ones. But I didn't care, because if there was any one game that I was going to buy a Wii U for, this was it. Although, granted, there was a couple games I wanted for Wii U, and I got some of those too. And I was happy.
Does Bayonetta 2 come out this month too?
Do what?
Oh man, Bayonetta 2. I think it comes out this month. Like a little bit
I'll let
after
you
Korra.
look that up, because I already put my phone down, and I'm too lazy to type that in again. But yes, I got Mario Kart 8, and I was super psyched. Although, granted, not much to say about the game, except I love the shit out of it. But the Wii U hardware, this is the longest I've ever had to wait to play a game from when I took it out of the box. Because taking it out of the box, and I knew it was going to need a big-ass update before I could do anything with it. Which I did. I mean, because first I go through all the initial setup of put your name in, what's TV time, what's all this shit. Although, granted, the idea that the Wii U gamepad can control my television set blew my mind. And at first, while I would have laughed, I laughed at that feature when they were originally talking about that. But when I actually used it, I was like, I like this. This is great.
Yeah.
You're really good, gamepad. I don't know why I ever doubted you. Although, granted, I could not get it to control my set-top box that I have. But I'm rarely watching that thing as much now as I used to. So the fact that I can turn on my game console and my television set with the same device, I felt was super awesome. I was like, oh my god, this is gooder. How did I live without this?
You're about to say gooder.
Yeah,
I was about to say, yeah, you almost said gooder. Damn.
But yeah, so it works with my TV perfectly fine. Like, I love the idea that I could control the volume with this thing of my television set. Like, I don't have to grab another remote. It's all right here. But yeah, I had to do that big... But after all of that setup, after all that nonsense, had to do this big...
Question.
What?
Did you have to move any of old consoles around for you to have enough space on the back of your TV to get a Wii U in there, or?
The only thing I really had to do was, because it comes with HDMI. Now, granted, if I wanted to, I could have pulled all of the cords from my original Wii and hooked those into the Wii U, because all of those cords will still work. But I did not do that because, one, I want to leave my original Wii plugged in. I still use that a great deal, especially for GameCube games, because I don't own a GameCube. But what I did was, the Wii, it takes up so little space on my shelf that I just have the Wii U sitting right next to it. And as far as plugging shit into my TV, I had one HDMI port that I normally use for piping stuff from my PC to, but I said, fuck it. I unhooked it, and then just hooked the Wii U in there, because it comes with an HDMI cable, as all consoles should now. Hooked that in there. I have not one but two sensor bars sitting on my TV now.
Why?
Because like I said, I wanted to leave my original Wii plugged in. I'm still going to switch back and forth between the two. I don't care. You
don't need the Wii U sensor bar to play GameCube games, do you?
Okay. Well, here's my question. What sounds easier? Going into the back of the damn consoles and unplugging and plugging in the Wii sensor bar from one to the other, or just put the new sensor bar under there, let one of them sit on the other one, and then just hook the thing in, and never have to go back there for anything.
Okay, you got a point.
Yeah, see, that's because that's what my setup is now. I have one sensor bar sitting on top of the other one and
just solve all your problems with just getting a wireless sensor bar.
Actually, I own one of those, but I don't use it simply because that's one less thing with batteries I don't need to worry about. That's
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I know the problem. I
The
know feel.
the wireless sensor bar is good if you were taking your console to other places, but as far as like I'm not going anywhere with this. I'm just gonna leave this here, or I'm not taking this to a friend's house anytime soon. So for my own personal use in the home, I'm using the wired sensor bar. But yeah, getting everything set up. Then I had to do the update, and like I said, I knew it was going to take forever, and it took like 2 hours for it to update.
Jeez.
Yeah. And granted, it's not like it's updating every single application that's on here. Like if I wanted to use I was going to try out the Amazon Video app because I do have some digital movies on Amazon. Like I have a digital copy of Iron Man 3 on there, and it needed to update that, and then it needed to update YouTube and Netflix and Hulu I don't use yet. Hulu I probably never will because fuck that. I'm sure people watch it. I don't give a shit. But Netflix I don't have an account yet. May make one in the future. Who knows? But I was able to try YouTube on there. It's really good because I use YouTube on my PS3. It's really good. I use YouTube on my Xbox 360. That is shit. I'm sorry. Dude, no. If you use YouTube on any of your consoles, the 360 is not it. It's terrible.
When you use YouTube on your PS3, you don't do
Yes.
it through the browser, do you?
No.
Okay.
No. What idiot would do that?
It was lost
Use
on
the
me.
YouTube app, yeah.
Yeah,
So you got a YouTube app.
Of course I do. I'm not stupid. Granted, like I've said, the Xbox 360 also has a YouTube app, but it is slow as shit. Like, I don't know why. Like, you would think it wouldn't be that bad considering the 360 does downloads really, really good. But YouTube videos on that thing are fucking terrible. And I don't care if somebody's going to point out, like, oh, they've updated it, it's better now. I don't care. My PS3 does YouTube videos really, really good. And the Wii U does YouTube videos just about the same way through its app. So, I had fun watching it on there. So of the games that I got, like I said, Mario Kart 8 came bundled with it. And at one point I was almost considering getting the Wind Waker HD bundle that they had with the special kind of Zelda-esque designs on the thing, but I was like, I'm not really that into playing Wind Waker again, so I'll just I was like, I just really, really wanted Mario Kart 8. I was like, for $30 more, I can get the game I want the most. Like, Mario Kart 8 really was my number one, I want to play this on the Wii U so bad game. But I did get some other stuff that I'm also super loving, which was Wonderful 101, which was only $30.
Yes.
Yes, it is. That will get you hype. If you were,
So good.
oh my god, loving the shit out of it. Haven't spent a whole lot of time with it though, but yeah, got Wonderful.
Kind of long.
Yeah, but this is another good plus side of waiting a while before I got a Wii U, was simply because, one, there's a number of games that I would have wanted for it, and two, some that I did want, they're cheaper now. Like I said, Wonderful 101, it was $30. That is great. That is fucking great. But I also got Hyrule Warriors. That is dope. Oh man, Hyrule Warriors is some shit. That game did not take me long to get me hype. I'm just gonna share
Dope
this.
means good in this context, yes?
Yes. Let me just give you a little bit of context, okay? It only took this game a few minutes to get me fucking pumped. And like I've not played too many Dynasty Warriors games. The only ones I have played, they weren't Dynasty Warriors. It was like Fist of the North Star and then Sengoku Bizarra. But that's it. So I popped in Hyrule Warriors, got to playing, and you do like the game opens up. Link is not even like Link. He's just this kind of knight in training. And you go out and you're just fighting dudes. And then there's a moment in like a cutscene that happens where like this dragon like dude just fucking hurls some like fire and shit at him. And it's like this big explosion. And then Link's got the Triforce on his hand. And then this fucking awesome rock rendition of the Legend of Zelda main theme starts playing, and I was like, oh, it is on now, fuckers! And it played throughout the entire stage. I was fucking hyped. It was great. That music was the best. And I was just wrecking shit.
Awesome.
It was so good. I loved it. Like, just look that up. Like if you look up a video of like just a gameplay video of like the very first like stage in that game where that music comes up, because it's like like it was fucking fantastic. Like, and I've heard rock renditions of that theme before. This is the best one I have heard so far. Fucking great. So back to the Wii U's hardware. I knew it was going to take 2 hours to download, which was more than enough time for me to just go out and do other shit, which I did have to do. Like, I left my house, got dinner, did some stuff, came back, had like 30 minutes left, and then I was like, I'm going to go on the shop channel because I totally want to buy Earthbound. That's another reason I got this thing. And then the shop channel needed to update. I was like, fuck. It's like, let me do something. So like 3 hours later was when I finally played a game. Yeah. But I will say, though, after all the updates and all the bullshit, I'm really loving what this hardware does that I don't think I could get the experience elsewhere. Was the simple idea of how you can play the game on the gamepad without turning on your TV. I did this the other night, and I gotta say, I was really enjoying it. Did
you do it in bed?
Yeah, because I had it in my room, and I just had it in my bed. I plugged some headphones into it, which were a little better quality audio than the speakers on the gamepad are not bad, but I have some nice headphones that I plugged into it, and yeah, and I was sitting there playing Mario Kart on this thing in the dark, but I wasn't disturbing anybody, and I got like a really good experience out of it. I was like, this is what it's for. It was like, this is the magic of the Wii U. I was like, this is fantastic. As well as another thing that I did was when I was watching YouTube videos on it, sometimes what I like to do before bed is I'll just watch a video, and I would do this with my phone. I'll just have my phone up while I'm just laying there watching something. So I did that on the Wii U, and again, I'm able to navigate the menus and everything without having the actual TV on, so I'm just sitting there in bed with the Wii U gamepad facing me, watching a video. I fucking love this gamepad. It feels great. Nintendo, you did a good job on this one. Props.
That's good.
I don't know about you, Chris, but I think this whole second screen thing for this generation of consoles is working out great.
It kind of depends. It's
like I was able to use remote play with my Vita for my PS4, and it runs great.
I do like how Sony's handling it with, like, you can use your Vita. And like I said,
I imagine
the Wii U gamepad
is way more dedicated to second screen.
I do like that, although I'm not liking Microsoft's implementation of it, obviously, because they want you to use their fucking...
They got
and
a tablet?
Yeah, it's Surface tablets. Fuck those things. I'm sorry.
Shit. It is Microsoft, so...
Well, not to mention, like, there's a good way and a bad way to do some of that stuff. Like, I remember, like, what was it, the E3 before Xbone and PS4 came out, and they were talking about some of the shit that they want to do with, like, a second screen of, is this really worth buying a $500 tablet for this game, when it's like, I feel like everything that this game is doing, this could simply be done within the game itself. Why do I need that second screen? And granted, the stuff...
I need your phone to call an airstrike in Dead Rising 3.
That's so stupid. That's... You could do that in a fucking menu. Like, the stuff with, like, if you have a PS4 and you're using a Vita on the same game, you know, you don't have to use that. But if you do, it could be kind of a nice little cool bonus kind of thing. Which is kind of...
Destiny in bed. Destiny's not too good on a Vita, but I still got to play Destiny in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did like playing Mario Kart on the gamepad though, and I could have done this with Wonderful 101 and Hyrule Warriors. I haven't done that yet. Although one of the other cool things that I did was I was sitting here earlier and I was playing Earthbound on it, and that was kind of cool playing it on that screen. I love the fact that they don't stretch it like they used to do on the original Wii. Original Wii, like even if you're playing in widescreen, it would stretch out Super Nintendo games and even like original Nintendo games, kind of. The stretching I don't think was too bad, but at least on the Wii U, it'll show those old 16-bit games in the correct aspect ratio, which is good. Also, there are Game Boy Advance games on there, and I'm like, yeah, of course I could play this on a gamepad screen. That's what I've been doing with those. So, obviously, yeah, I'm loving the shit out of the Wii U. I've said it up and down, time and time again. Out of this, the PS4 and the Xbone, this was the console I wanted the most. And I feel really good about it.
Well, yeah, it's great.
It's very great. I'm loving the shit of it. I'm going to play more of it after we're done with this podcast, so...
Until Bayonetta 2 comes out. That's gonna.
Was that the important thing you went to do before the podcast started?
Yes and no. Because I did have to do some stuff for my mom, but then not too long before we got started, I was playing Mario Kart again. And because of the gamepad, I was playing Mario Kart as we were doing the show. And I don't distract the shit out of everybody like Sam does. Like,
damn it!
Oh man, I think we have let this drag on long enough, though.
Yeah.
This has been a good one. So,
I would just like to say before we end that Hyrule Warriors is ahead of all other Zelda games because it lets you play as Zelda.
Oh snap!
Yeah, I went there.
I really want to play as
sick burn.
Character I want to play as more than Zelda, Princess Ruto. I want to see her wreck shit.
Is she the one with the blue hair?
She's the trying to think of the name. Fuck. She is the Zora princess.
Oh.
Yeah. Fish princess.
Zora princess from Ocarina?
Yes, she's in this.
Oh. I never played Ocarina. I just played Twilight Princess.
Oh, well, she's totally there.
I got a 3DS. I'll just buy Ocarina of Time for 3DS.
There you go. Do that.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Gotta finish A Link to Another World first.
Oh, that is a good one, though. That is super fucking good.
Although Velocity's eating up my time on my handhelds more than any of my 3DS stuff.
That game was free, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, for PS Plus, but...
It's good. It's real good.
PS Plus is a really sweet deal, dude.
God, you know what I'm looking forward to, though? Next week on PSN, when Strider 2 comes out? I totally want to grab that.
Oh, is it coming out?
Strider 2 from the PS1 is going to be added on PSN.
I was looking for that for I added that to my list of old games that I need to find. And I went to the store that I go to for my old games and they didn't have it, and I got super sad.
It'll be on PSN next week.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I'm pumped. I can play that for the first time.
Get hype.
I'm hyped. Are you hyped?
I'm very hype.
I'm hyped. I like Strider.
Okay, actually, I want to mention one last thing. I really, really hope that Pokken Tournament comes to the US on Wii U. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, because Namco and Nintendo, they have a good working relationship right now. And I guess Namco is making an arcade fighting game featuring Pokemon, but it plays like Tekken.
Yeah.
And it's called Pokken Tournament. I want that so bad.
That's kind of weird, but okay.
I want that more than Smash. I'm honest right now. I'm totally fucking play Pokken Tournament. Like
controversial onions here on the Texture Pop.
Like, I would really, really love a good exclusive fighting game on the Wii U, which unfortunately we haven't got. Although we have gotten fighting games that are good, we just haven't gotten the same love as other consoles because it's like, oh, they got all this DLC, but we're not bringing it to Wii U. Not yet. Fucking scumbags, but whatever. I love the Wii U. I don't give a shit what other people say.
It's good,
Yes.
from what everyone tells me.
I don't like the Wii U.
Oh, you and I need to have words. But that's going to do it for now. So, thanks for tuning in, folks. And sorry we didn't have any listener questions because, once again, couldn't really access the email. Not that we really could. But yeah, if you guys got any listener questions for us, feel free to send them to thetexturepop@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to read them on the air. Next week, at least.
some point.
Yes. Sam's here. But yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. And stay tuned next week when hopefully we have this thing posted in a timely manner.
That's not going to happen.
It might. Later.
It's not.
Bye.
Later, taters.
Bye, guys.